Hello, namaskar to everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome all three of you to this session of the Drawing House.
Thank you.
It's really nice to see you again. I suppose it was last year when all of us met individually in different interview sessions. We were talking about certain things that we are going to talk about today as well. And the reason we are together one more time is because of this release of new dynamic code name Alpha from YALI Dream Creations. First of all, to this creative team, congratulations on this amazing art piece. It's looking fabulous. Trust me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I mean, it's really amazing to see that how Indian art along with this Indian concepts are being explored as never before. There was a time when there were certain publications, कुछ publications हुआ करते थे, जो and we were as a reader हम completely dependent थे उन publications के ऊपर, because as a reader, as a fan of comic books, we wanted to explore more, we wanted to read more, we wanted to have more characters, and thankfully for the past maybe 4-5 saal, maybe 3-4 years, things have really turned around, and new issues are coming, new publications are coming. Not to mention, YALI Dream Creations have already completed, if I'm not wrong, 10 years of its publication. Is it?
I think we are in year 9. I think next year. No. Actually, you know what? I'll take it back. This year, June, we'll complete 10.
This year, June.
With that'll be when I say completion, that's because we inaugurated, we entered the scene with the release of the Caravan.
I would start up this session with Asvin ji and asking, I mean, just as what you said right now, it's been 10 years. 10 saal YALI Dream Creations ko ho chuke hain. And all these 10 years have been amazing in terms of the content that YALI Dream Creations have been creating. And of course, when we talk about your publication, हम रक्षक की बात करते हैं. And whenever we are talking about Rakshak, like there are so many different artists. I suppose Gaurav Srivatsangam is not here, but I have to mention he is literally a drawing machine, it seems, because he's been doing continuously. He's been working in the industry and putting out really amazing artworks. Asvin ji, as a producer, as a publisher, how do you see this amazing Indian team working in India? What are your views on this?
It's been amazing, 10 years before, right before I started with the Caravan, I had already tried creating I tried creating 2 graphic novels. One is Dynas, the other one is Nilakshi, Quest for Amrit. Yeah. So both the times I'm completely oblivious about the talent in India. So I ended up working for Dynas. I worked with South American talent, and then Nilakshi I worked with a couple of European people. So, and then that's when I felt like there was somehow this wasn't gelling, especially with Nilakshi, which was partially set in the West and partially set in India. And I wanted to create more Indian content. A place which I thought was less crowded. A crowd less crowded in India and it's an oxymoron, but yeah, it is. Fewer publishers, fewer comics are made here. Which is in a way it's a shame, but yeah. That's where I want to step in. And then I was searching. I knew about Graphic India back then. I don't know, it was called like Liquid Comics. And I knew about Shamik Dasgupta, the name. So I started using social media, searched people, found Shamik, found Vivek Goyal and a few other people. With Shamik, we were bouncing some ideas. And then Shamik and I were thinking of doing a superhero comic book at that time. That was the first thing that we were thinking about, but then we ended up doing Caravan. And then through social media, thanks to social media, Facebook, I eventually discovered the great talent that was around, right? So many of us who are right now, who are big names today, like Ramvi or Vivek Goyal, Shamik, some of them were already known at that time, some of us weren't. And I see a big growth in terms of number of artists, the community. Gaurav, I know I've seen his art back then, and I'm seeing his art right now. The big transformation. What he does today. What he's been doing. He did amazing job for us on Village, and now he's doing the Crackdown. I mean, like big transformation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So since you brought his name, and we got some amazing cover art from Sumit Kumar. So and then Pradeep Sharawat, who's contributed to many of YALI's covers, and Presi, I've seen him grow big, leaps and bounds. I'm sure Tadam can vouch for it. We should have. Tadam has done an amazing job with Codename Alpha. Is this your biggest, longest one single comic book series so far, Tadam?
Yeah, that's right. And the fairest book I have ever done. Yeah.
Right. Tadam, you can tell me, I'm just curious. I know we are keeping it very conversational. I'm just curious, why you went to Art University, did a bachelor's degree, but then there should be at least 10 of you, 20 of you, should be, there in the comic book. But however, I'm sure many of them have gone to gaming industry or ad agencies and other stuff.
I think most of the people of my classmates, most of them didn't have this habit of reading comic books. They would watch movies based on comic books, definitely. But it's kind of unfortunate that, most of my classmates weren't really aware about Indian comic books. So I think only a couple of them were interested and used to read. Mm-hmm. But none of them really thought about taking comic book art as a career. I was the black sheep of my class.
The typical monthly doses of comic book on which we as an Indian living in India, we grew up. Tadam probably will be very much familiar with what I'm saying. We had a very specific set of comic books, a very specific set of storytelling as well. And now we have Codename Alpha with our superhero showing a middle finger in the middle of in the cover page. This is a huge change for sure, and this is my question. Like, how do you see this change to be? Like, are you targeting a very specific age genre? Are you targeting for that, or you want these comic books to be in the hands of almost everyone?
Everyone. There's nothing. There's absolutely almost nothing that you can, in terms of content or a story, it applies to everyone, right? Even Mahabharata, Ramayana, if you have to tell this to a child, you gotta filter out certain things. It can't be told the way it is, right? I'm hesitant when I'm telling about certain things. I definitely do. So there's nothing like a content that can be told to everyone, right? Whether to add or remove is always the question. So in this case of Codename Alpha, right? Even the West, the comic book in the West, which has a much longer culture of superheroes. You've seen it from 1930s and then to today. There's a way of change. They still got the Batman and Supermans. But even if you look back, the name back then it worked. I don't think anyone would name a character Superman or Batman. It's so cringy, right? So, but however, we accepted them because they were created in a certain time, and they have a fan following.
Just to supplement what Asvin said, and Somya, to kind of circle back to your original question, right? That is this really meant for everyone, right? So here's the thing, right? See, from my perspective, even if you look at what Asvin said, your Batman and Superman, those were revolutionary for their time. Mm-hmm. Okay, like before Superman, there was no other Superman. Before Batman, there was nothing like that, right? And these happened because somebody sort of dared to try that experiment. It could have gone either ways. It could have failed, right? But it didn't, right? But the important thing is that they tried to create that change. And we're creating art over here, right? So art, I don't think we should put that sort of limitation or that sort of filter that, hey, oh no, this, everyone can't read this, or, it's not meant for a particular audience. No, all kinds of content needs to exist out there, right? Agreed, kids cannot read it or should not be reading it, right? But once they're above 18 and they're in a space where they can distinguish right and wrong, they can always go back to it, and if they like it, yeah, well and good, right? So I think what's important for the Indian comic book industry in the current state is we start sort of breaking all of these existing sort of notions and rules out there. We need different kinds of content. If you look at the Indian independent comic book space, and I'm not, even YALI is independent, but I'm seeing even like, you know, like an extremely niche sort of self-published sort of books, like some stuff that Ramvi has done, like Black Mamba and all of that. That is nothing like an Indian comic book, but it captures the essence of Mumbai, that gritty Mumbai, like perfectly, right? We should, and I got inspired by that. Right now, imagine more creators get inspired by seeing what I wrote, right? Or other things that Ram writes, right? So we need stuff that breaks out of these shackles. Even if it fails, it's okay. It needs to be there. It needs to exist.
And the final thing, Somya, who should read it, right? So that answers the question. I mean, Codename Alpha is not super niche. It is fun and entertaining, but it's not super niche. So anyone who likes superhero content, who's looking for a different kind of superhero content, you know, out of the usual, it's for them.
Absolutely. So let's right now talk about this the specific dates or the tentative dates of the release of Codename Alpha. मैं जहाँ तक मैं जानता हूँ, the pre-order dates are already out. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I suppose. Pre-orders are now available. Readers can log on to different official websites and they can order it. And what exactly is the release date?
The release date is February 7th. I think that's when the shipping would start. I think the printing process starts from Monday. Mm-hmm. And you know, we're going to do both the languages for the first time. So that arduous task of, you know, coordinating with the printer, it's going to be handled by Vivek Goyal. So we want to give that enough buffer time. You know, maybe we would have the books ready by February first week, but we want to give that enough time. I know there are people who are impatient enough, or are excited enough to receive the copy of the book. But Feb 7th is a good buffer for us to start shipping out the books.
All right. Bijoy, there's something that I would like to discuss, and we all would like to discuss this. I'm quoting this from your last Facebook update, if I'm correct. Codename Alpha is a self-aware superhero epic with all the whistle-worthy 80s Bollywood trappings we know and love. It is Deadpool meets Om Shanti Om. That's it, period. And now, आगे नहीं बढ़ते हैं, थोड़ा सा बात कर लेते हैं इस बारे में. Deadpool meets Om Shanti Om. You have to give a clarification for this. What exactly is going on in the mind? क्या पढ़ने वाले हम लोग?
See, okay. The thing is, okay, it's I don't know where to start on this. See, like in the original sort of drafts of Codename Alpha, it was fairly sort of serious. Okay, in the sense that the underlying theme was always there, but then I felt like it was lacking something. Like it was just okay, like just another superhero redemption arc sort of thing. There's some like distinct flavor that was missing. Okay, and then I started thinking about, hey, okay, can we set this in a universe that a lot of people can like probably already knows and love. Okay, know and love. And I am of course a big like film fan, film buff, and of course Bollywood as well, right? So I thought, why not set this in and around Bollywood? Okay, why not make the characters like people from that universe, from that industry? Like one major character in Codename Alpha is an actor, like a superstar, in fact. Okay, I won't say more. And in fact, the second book of Codename Alpha is pretty much entirely set in 90s Bollywood. Okay, it's an era that we look at. It's a polarizing era. Sometimes we look at it with a little bit of cringe, but we also have that very strong element of nostalgia associated with it. Okay, and it doesn't go away. Like we cannot hate it, even if there are some things that are bad, we cannot hate. Right, so that's the kind of flavor that I wanted to bring in here. And why Om Shanti Om? It's exactly that. So Om Shanti Om represents that sort of that sort of zeitgeist that existed in that time, right? and that is pretty much what you're going to see in book 2 of Codename Alpha. Where it goes into a flashback sort of mode. So while Alpha, the character, is super sort of self-referential, and he knows he's a loser. Okay, he knows he exists in this world where he hates everyone, everyone hates him. In fact, the reader also hates him. He knows that. Okay, and I needed to balance that sort of negativity with something that people, even if people don't appreciate that part, you'll at least appreciate the Bollywood, that sort of the references and name dropping and all of that that's going to happen. So I just felt like it might be a good mix to bring both these things together.
I'm already feeling that this art piece, this comic book, is going to be really something different for the Indian readers.
I hope so.
For many reasons, as we are discussing.
I don't know, if saying this is going to turn off, like all of our pre-orders will get cancelled or not. But see, it's in essence, it is also very much a Rohit Shetty movie. Okay, it is Singham, Simba, Suryavanshi, right. All of that. It is that. Okay, so you will have, although it does get a little darker from the second volume onwards. Second and third second is especially significantly darker. Third one gets a little more lighter. But you will find that essence of a Rohit Shetty movie in this as well. And Rohit Shetty, if you're watching this, please read the book. Yeah.
If you are whatever you're telling in this during this session, if this is true, I suppose this is going to be a smash hit, Codename Alpha, because what you are naming are the ingredients for the typical things that we as an Indian still very much love to watch.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's come on the illustration part. And when it comes to illustration, we have the main artist, Tadam Gyadu, along with us. Tadam, how difficult or challenging was it to work in the minds of Bijoy Raveendran's imagination? I'm pretty sure you are very much familiar with mythological stuff, drawing mythological stuff, and lots of things. But this certainly would have been a very new experience. So, ye kaisa raha working on this piece?
Tadam, go for it. Don't filter.
Well, I think अगर एक ही word में मैं बोलूँ तो it was a very fun experience for me. Like initially, Bijoy is a new writer, and I was working with him for the first time, and we did have a lot of back and forth with character designs and page layouts and all. But I think the story, जब मैंने पढ़ी तो it's absolutely bonkers and like very fun. Since the story is set in Mumbai, and I have never actually been to Mumbai, so I did a lot of research, and it was fun drawing all the gullies and chawls and the overall vibe of the city. So yeah, I think it was super fun for me, and also I'm pretty sure that readers will enjoy it, because me as a reader, I read the script first, like to get a gist of it, like properly, and then when I was reading the script, like I enjoyed it thoroughly. So even after the book was finished, then I just went through the overall all the finished pages and read it as a fan. So I as a fan, I enjoyed it, the story. So I think, yeah, even people who read books that are like, different and experimental, I think they're definitely going to love it. Yeah.
So I suppose now this is the time for some sneak peeks, if you allow us to see, and we are hungry for that. Can we please have something on the channel that the viewers can see, some sneak peeks?
Okay, maybe okay, I don't want to show too much, but maybe I'll show you one of my favorite pages from Tadam. Oops. Okay, so you see this page, right? So one thing, okay, I wanted to give a context of this page. Okay, This is I won't say this is the best page that Tadam has done in the book. There are many more better pages, right? But one thing that we wanted to do is the idea of double page spreads. Okay, double page spread is not a new concept, right, in comics at all, except that because of printing constraints, sometimes in Indian comics we don't see much of it. Very few of them are done. This book at least has 4 double page spreads where we tried to make use of that canvas. Okay, and in this page you'll be surprised. So Tadam talked about like working together and getting to know each other's thoughts better as we went along, right? So this is an example of that, where the brief here was that Alpha and Ghungru basically do parkour across the Mumbai rooftops. Okay, and then I had some image references of parkour, like the multiple exposure shots as you see here, right? And like I couldn't even, and the actual angle reference that I gave was something completely different. It was like a perspective bird's eye sort of view. But look at this, right? Like this is insane. This is like you're viewing it in VR almost, right? Like you are Alpha and as you're jumping across the rooftop, and yeah, so
amazing. Tadam, you're the man.
I think let's take a second to appreciate what it is.
Absolutely,
thank you.
Absolutely. Asvinji, you probably would be feeling so proud. I'm pretty sure as a producer, as a publisher. I mean, seeing all these amazing artwork. It's not just another one. It's not just another comic book. It's something that I would say it's a revolution in itself, because we do have the talent, and that's the kind of platform Indian artists we require. So hats off to the entire team. Amazing job. Amazing.
Thank you. If I have to do it again with these two guys, Bijoy and Tadam, I would do it all over again.
Superb. Tadam, would you like to add something specifically on this illustration, on this page?
Well, I think this probably is this book is probably the book where I did most double spreads of my life so far. I think one night I think I had only done a couple, I think 2, for my previous books. And this book, as I told you, I think Bijoy's writing is really cinematic. So it kind of gives the artist the chance to, do the artwork in a very widescreen way.
Amazing. This is really, really amazing. All right. So coming towards the end of the session now, I would like to ask some of the very, very final questions. Codename Alpha is a comic book, a graphic novel for 116 pages, if I'm correct, fully colored pages. And it's going to be a trilogy?
Correct. It's a 3-part series.
All right. So like for 2022, like, are we expecting all the three pieces to be releasing in 2022?
I don't know about the third one, but the second one will come this year. And the third one maybe beginning of 2023.
All right. All I would say at the end is if this session was happening probably 10, 12 years back, we would definitely have been very skeptic, as well as it would have been extremely difficult for the Indian readers. I'm pretty sure about that most of us would agree. It would have been difficult to even think about accepting something like Codename Alpha, because things were very different. The psychology, the concepts that were flowing around, they were amazing. They still are amazing, but things were very, very different. And looking at all the promotional ads, all the promotional posters of Codename Alpha, it really gives me the chill. It really gives me the excitement. I'm really waiting for the release. And I suppose each and every one of us, including those who unfortunately are not here but are part of this creative team.
Ryan Foley is our editor. Ryan, Ryan has worked on many international projects. Asvin can talk more about that. And I've not worked with an editor before, right? But Ryan was extremely supportive in sort of fine-tuning certain things. He doesn't tell you what to do. Okay, he just puts comments from a third person's perspective, and he puts it in the most gentle of manner. Okay, that you read it, you're like, oh, so nice, such a nice guy, right? But then you start thinking about it. Okay, maybe he's right. I need to change a lot of things, right? So, and that's a perfect. I think that is the way an editor, comic book editor, should function. And Ryan was really, really supportive, especially in terms of making the book accessible to a slightly more international audience. That hey, maybe this reference is a little too, like, for an international audience, they won't get it, right? So maybe you want to change something, things like that. And even cutting down the dialogue. My dialogues were like pages, right? So a lot of those tiny things which otherwise I wouldn't have known. Ryan was extremely helpful in sort of streamlining those things as well. So big shout out to Ryan as well.
I just hope that maybe in this 2022, if things get a little bit better, I don't know when it will, but if it gets better, maybe there will be a time when somewhere we will be able to meet. And if we meet, I am pretty sure there are lots of things to discuss, not just online, but offline as well, in terms of comic books and graphic novels.
Yeah, Somya, you should do a creators roundtable with across different comic book companies.
I actually was thinking about it. I actually have.
You should do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. Maybe in Delhi, I'll book a place and we'll do it. That will be awesome.
Should totally.
We posted an ad in May 2020. We were well into the pandemic. There was a lot of stuff that was still people didn't know what is COVID. It was still during those times, and there were many applicants. And then we started talking to Bijoy. We started crafting the seeds, the very foundation of Codename Alpha back in 2020, May 2020, and then we went through the first wave. Then we added Tadam to the character art and all that happened, and we should have got this book at least 6 months before. But however, like all businesses, like all walks of life, has been impacted by COVID so badly. We saw some of our loved ones being getting COVID. I think Pradeep, who was doing the coloring, I think some few people in his family got COVID. We had people falling sick, people moving from their base town to going out. I think Tadam himself was in Delhi when he started, but I think he went to Arunachal for some time. We had to work through all of this, and we started with the first wave, and now we're releasing the book with the third wave. But there's a lot of
but again, even if it's the third wave, I'm pretty sure that the readers will be ordering it. The viewers, the readers should order it, should be safe in home, and enjoy this book. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I hope it's all worth the wait.
Absolutely. And on this note, let's end this session up. Once again, thank you so very much, guys. Thank you so very much for coming, and hope to see all of you one more time very soon. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.